Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me get rid of this intro. Let's kill the intro. All right, the intro is killed. The intro is killed. How y'all feeling today? How y'all feeling today? Good morning, Gemini SG. Beast, what's going on? Keith, good morning. Jersey in the building. Good morning, Charmaine. Zadrick, good morning, my brother. Good morning, Marie.
You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job.
After seeing all this garbage this morning about Shedeur Sanders, I need to hear his same voice. Give him a week of practice. He was starting to get his bearings, definitely at the end of the game. Talk to him. Talk to him. Today's show, we are really going to see if people are here to have honest conversations or if they are here to write Shedeur Sanders off after 2 quarters of football. Good morning, Latika. From what I saw last night and from what I'm seeing this morning, I'm seeing Shedeur Sanders haters who are always going to be Shedeur Sanders haters. We're just ready to pounce as soon as he didn't throw for 5,000 yards and 20 touchdowns in 2 quarters. So they were always going to be there. The people who I have the biggest issue with are the local Cleveland media, who now is finally starting to question, was Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders ever put in a position to succeed?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So when we were saying the entire time that giving Dillon Gabriel all the reps from the summer all the way up until now, and we said, hey, this don't make sense, everybody questioned you and said, no, you just repping for Shedeur, you caping for Shedeur. Well, what do you know? You actually need reps to play good in the game. Who could have thunk it? Harris from Sports, what's good? So to me, I find it funny when you listen to what the local media is doing and saying this morning. Basically, they told us to believe in Kevin Stefanski, believe in the Browns. They have a plan. I've always questioned the plan. More specifically, Shedeur Sanders fans have always questioned the plan, and we were right all along. So the people who should be taking a victory lap are the people who saw it from the beginning that they didn't know what they were doing. If you called out the Browns this summer, that's a victory lap for you. If you called out Kevin Stefanski, that's a victory lap for you. If you called out the Browns front office, that's a victory lap for you. If you called out Cleveland media, that is a victory lap for you. You saw through the BS. They had to see it play out in front of them, and they criticized and critiqued all the people who are visionary who saw things coming. And now they want to switch it up and say, now we should question them. Come on, man. I missed the last 10 minutes of the fourth because of a church meeting, but it looks like he was getting comfortable toward the end of the game. He was. He went through a couple series. I remember it was Anita. Anita J asked me, how many series is it going to take him to kind of get better timing? And it was hard for him to get timing with the ones because he never had timing with them. So if you look at the best passes that he threw, Harold Fannin Jr. was the 2 best passes he threw was to Harold Fannin Jr. The 3rd best pass he threw was to Gage Larvin in the back shoulder in the touchdown. So what they had to do was they had to put guys in there he was comfortable with because they know they never gave him reps with the other guys. I heard a few Kevin Stefanski supporters still supporting him, but for the most part, there's a lot of outrage because of Shedeur not getting the reps. Facts. I saw that this morning. Marie, take your victory lap. Take your victory lap. I saw Dan Orlovsky. We're going to get to Dan Orlovsky because he's been one of the biggest and most vocal CAA. That's the agency, right? Or Kevin Stefanski supporters, however you want to lump them together. He's been the most vocal about it. I saw him in real time on Get Up this morning go from it's not that strange for Shedeur not to be getting reps as a backup to it's strange that the offensive lineman never heard his cadence. He's never thrown the ball to Jerry Jeudy. He did a heel turn in about 45 seconds of hearing other people speak on it. It was that quick. The tides are turning on Kevin. That's a fact. Do y'all remember when I said when the national media started taking shots at you, that is the worst thing that can happen for Kevin Stefanski? When they are publicly just taking shots at you, that is the worst circumstances for you because then they open the door for everybody else to criticize and critique you. That's why Dan Orlovsky always went on the defensive. But now, once they talk through these things, they realize Kevin Stefanski is not setting anybody up for success. Not even just not setting up Shedeur. He's not setting anybody up for success. And now they're starting to see it. So we're going to get to the local media. You got the Anthony Limas saying, what did you expect and all this stuff. And it's like, man, you don't know what you're talking about. I heard him earlier. Even he was questioning it. We will hear the spin from Kevin by Tuesday. That's a fact. Yeah, Zedric, I'm going to play it. He started off saying, well, if you're a backup, you don't get the reps. But then when they said, well, how come the offensive line hasn't even heard his cadence? He was like, well, that is strange. You think? I saw several folks shut him down. The whole panel showed him it was all cap, what he was saying. I saw it too. Facts. We're going to get to it. For anybody who didn't see Get Up this morning, who didn't see what I'm speaking on, we got the clip. We're going to get to it. I'm also going to show you Emmanuel Acho. Emmanuel Acho doing some stuff for clicks, only to agree at the end. Well, we know what to expect from him. Unc and Ocho are going to talk about it. We're going to break down them. Asante Samuel's going to speak on it. Actually, CBS Sports. Y'all know I like to use CBS Sports, so that just reminded me of another clip I got to pull up to make sure we have it ready when they get to it because CBS Sports also had a good takeaway on it. So let me just add this clip to the list. Good morning, Anita.
See more. Shedeur. 4 of 6.
Let me pause that.
Broncos country, let's ride. Broncos country, let's ride.
Good morning, Latanya. Make sure I set this up in order. So the national media, I find it funny. The local media is finally getting there. The national media, they're like, dang, we can't defend him no more. We just got to call it out for what it is. That's what the national media is doing. Good morning, Sabrina. They can't even defend him no more. We're going to start off with the national media. It's going to be a clown show. Hey, I'll just let y'all know. It's a clown show to start, but what I want to show y'all is the point of this is to see if people are having a honest conversation regarding Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel. Triple Threat Sports, what's good? I saw Skip. We can get to Skip too. I can add him to the list. I saw some of what Skip said last night. Let me get him added to the list. Let me get him added to the list. Let's see. Where's my Skip? Skip said basically he wasn't even really watching the game. He was watching 2 other games at the same time. Then he kind of just like flickered the game. He saw it and just clicked the game on. Let me find Skip. I think Skip said it on his show. So let me find Skip. We're gonna add to it. I saw him speak after the game too. Oh, we can get to it. Let me see. I was gonna play him first on when he was on the radio this morning, but we can definitely get to it. We can get to everybody, y'all. All right, this is what we're gonna do. I got Skip. I'm adding Skip to the show. All right, we added Skip to the show. Charmaine wanted to see what Skip said. We're gonna add him in. Acho be tripping, Latika. Tripping. And then let me throw in Nita J wants to see Dale Reuter from last night. All right, I got him right here. Let's add him in. When you get a chance, watch what Rex Ryan said about the situation. He hit the nail on the head. What's going on, Jeffrey? We gonna get to it. We got Rex Ryan on the docket.
Hi, everybody, and welcome.
All right, this is what we're gonna do. Let's start this thing off because we got a lot of people to get to. We got a lot of views we're gonna look at. Selmo Fudd, what's going on? Everybody want to trip when it's the dog pound name on the tips of their lips. That's a fact. Acho a whole clown. He is. All right, let's get this thing going. Let me get this on the screen for y'all. We got a lot of stuff to break down today. Nita J, this is the one that you were speaking on. This is Daryl from last night.
Game that if Dillon Gabriel does clear protocol, he'll remain the starting quarterback. But if not, Shedeur Sanders will go ahead and start next week in Vegas against the Raiders. But it's about Shedeur Sanders. Let's be honest about it. That's where all the conversation is going to be, how he looked. Some positives, some negatives. You can kind of see why they weren't in a rush to put him on the field. I think a lot of second guessing about why Kevin Stefanski did not make sure he got some first-team reps. Shedeur had mentioned in the postgame, hey, this is the first time I threw to these guys all year because I never got those reps. So
First time ever with Ethan Posick.
Yeah, that too. So not only throwing to Jerry Jeudy and David Njoku and those guys, but working with the offensive line and whatnot. And, Kevin mentioned after the game that you got a rookie quarterback as a starter, got to get him all the reps as possible. And if you've been watching Dillon Gabriel and judging by fan reaction, you have, it's not gone well. And so it's understandable why they need to focus and practice and making sure he's getting all those reps. The problem is, though, when you have another rookie like Shedeur who is a play away, and early on, it was a little frazzled, a little scattered out there. Let's be honest about it. And then he settled in a little bit. So I think that if he is able to get those reps this week, assuming Dillon Gabriel will not be available, I think that you're going to see a more settled version of him out there against the Raiders next week.
Well, just face it. I can go all the way back to Dr. Dave Mays. If you're the backup quarterback in Cleveland and the starting quarterback isn't getting wins,
Oh my God! Wow!
It's Monday, y'all. It's Monday. So let me let me recap, y'all. So what I said was the Browns don't have a system. They don't have a system to set up players for success. And then I said, shout out to C.A. Anderson for being the first super chatter of the day. I was muted. It's Monday.
Oh my God! Wow!
I got money.
Shout out to C.A. Anderson. Just tuning in, rocking with Shedeur Sanders, ride or die. That's how we do it. That is a fact. We all feel that way. We all feel that way. We rocking with Shedeur. They're not going to get us to switch up just because they didn't put him in a good position to win. So we ain't falling for it. We're not falling for it. Let me see. It's not letting me show it. Well, I'll figure it out. I figured it on the fly. But shout out to C.A. Anderson with the first super chat of the day. I figured that out on the fly. Do y'all remember I said I was speaking on Atomic Habits. And when I was speaking on Atomic Habits, my point was if you try to get better 1% every single day, over the course of time, that 1% adds up. What the Browns are expecting Shedeur Sanders to do is to get better every single day without the opportunity to get better every single day. And what we saw, everything we saw from Shedeur was raw talent yesterday. That was not based on anything the Browns did. For a long time, they told us Shedeur Sanders is being developed. How are you being developed when you're one snap away and when you have to be inserted into the game? The line has never heard your cadence, and they've never seen you do anything with this team. How can you tell me that's developing him? How can you tell me? You know what I'm saying? It makes zero sense. It makes zero sense. So Daryl Ryder is speaking on that. We got him also on Anthony Lima and with, I think Anthony, who's he on with? Ken, I think, in the morning. They're going to speak on it. Anthony Lima is being disingenuous, and he's saying, oh, man, it's because this is what we come to expect from a 5th-round pick. He's saying that 5th-round pick thing to throw shade at Shedeur continuously is not a real conversation. He's not trying to have a real conversation about the circumstances and what's happening. So he's playing some other games there. He's playing some other games. Let me get to some of y'all chats before we get to the next video. How can people say Shedeur isn't, after 2 quarters of football, throwing into that situation? Talk to him. I totally agree with that. It's no way you can tell me that you're going to write him off after this. Do y'all remember after the first game in Minnesota, we can't judge Dillon Gabriel. After the second game, we can't judge Dillon Gabriel. After the third game, we can't judge Dillon Gabriel. Shedeur Sanders played 2 quarters, 16 pass attempts. Oh, we can judge Shedeur though. Come on, man. It makes no sense. It don't make no sense. Yeah, we definitely rocking with Shedeur, win or lose. We got his back. God got him covered. That's a fact. That's what they don't like. That's what they don't like. They don't like the fact that people are still going to ride with Shedeur. I started telling y'all last week, what they want is they want people to not ride with Shedeur, and they want Shedeur to just be left out there on his own. That's not happening, and that's why the haters are becoming more aggressive with the way they're attacking him and the way they're attacking his play. Had me tripping like it was me. Latika, the bot, it get everybody. Everybody it's almost like a rite of passage. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've been here long enough, the bot done got you once or twice. So it just be clipping people. Rizzo is a dinosaur. He needs to retire. Yeah, Rizzo this morning, he was dancing around. I'm sorry. Let me get this right. Rizzo was definitely dancing around this morning. He was dancing around saying, what do you expect? He was trying to call out Shedeur's footwork. Rizzo, I got questions for you, man. How many times have y'all heard Tony Rizzo talk about Dillon Gabriel's footwork? Have y'all heard anybody talk about Dillon Gabriel's footwork besides me? And now come on, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. In the end, everybody shows their true colors. That throw in the end zone to Gage Larvdan was a beautiful throw. The one to Harold Fannin was a good throw. Yep. He threw a great throw to Harold Fannin that he caught. He also threw a great throw to Harold Fannin that Harold Fannin dropped. The first time O-line heard his cadence is crazy. That is a fact. That is a fact. People going to call that out. I stand with 12, Sabrina. We do too. Hi, I'm staying away from social media. It's nasty out there. Miss TN, what's going on? And that's smart. If y'all ever wondered why I only put my content like clips and stuff like that on YouTube and I only put it on TikTok, it's because I'm not here to argue with people. If you go on X is just a place where people want to argue. And I ain't got time to argue with people all day, especially when 9 times out of 10, their intent is to argue, is not to understand. So I that's why I'm with you. That's why I don't put my stuff everywhere. I don't. Yes, Shedeur missed some receivers and some throws, but it was his first game without being prepared. Jeffrey, there you go. The win didn't seem to affect him. It didn't affect him at all. Do y'all want to go back in time to a lie that they tried to tell us about Shedeur? Remember they told us Shedeur arm was weak and that he probably wasn't going to be able to throw the ball in cold weather in Cleveland? Remember they told us that? Hey, lies being debunked in real time. So shout out to everybody who called that out about them saying Shedeur had a weak arm. Asante, what's good? Let's get to these guys on the radio.
Of hope. They had a chance at the end. And in sports, that's really all you can ask for. And you'd have to think that had Shedeur Sanders had an opportunity
to work with some of those players throughout the offseason or during training camp, maybe they pull that one out. But when Wyatt Teller told me after the game that they didn't even know the guy's cadence, but you got to see a little glimmer there. So a lot of second guessing of the Browns' planning, how they handled this whole quarterback situation this year, how they divided the reps to deal with it as well. But what else is new? I mean, this is what the Browns do. They're constantly stubbing their toe when it comes to quarterback preparation. And you would think that an organization that has gone through now 41 starters, and if Shedeur has to play Sunday in Vegas, that'd be 42, you would think that they would always plan for eventualities. And it is clear they did not plan for the eventuality that something might happen to an undersized quarterback in Dillon Gabriel in the game, and you're going to have to go to your 5th-round pick. Might want to get that guy up to speed.
I saw Daryl.
Now, for some reason, the last 24 hours, Daryl is making sense. But if you all know, for the most part, this season, I've been calling him out because he hasn't made sense. I don't know what clicked. Maybe he realized, man, Shedeur threw the ball a lot better than what Dillon Gabriel has, but for some reason he's starting to make sense, and we hear him making sense here. It's no way you can tell me that they were actively preparing Shedeur Sanders to get ready. This is why teams give 90% of the reps to the starter, 10% to the backup. They have an idea of what to expect. People who are trying to make the argument and say no backup quarterbacks give reps, they're patently false. It's false. When you got these old quarterbacks who played 20 years ago and now they're saying we didn't get reps back then, I don't care. What are they doing right now? Are backups getting reps right now? Right in today's NFL? In today's NFL. That's my question I have. Don't tell me what they did in 1992. Don't tell me what they did in 2003. When the game is a lot younger now, quarterbacks are a lot younger now. You got super young quarterbacks or old quarterbacks, and it's only a few that's in the middle because they usually don't make it to the middle unless they're really good. So how is the game handled now? That's the question you got to ask. Shedeur, second pass to David has some zip on it. That's a fact. That's a fact. I agree, Marie. Yeah, we know he had an arm. That was just that was a distraction tactic they were trying to use. That's all that was. It's just a timing thing for him now. He'll get it down. Zedric, I agree. Daryl was sick of watching Dillon. That's a fact. He can't watch Dillon no more. He can't do it. Asante, you know you can't have real conversations with him, man. You see it. Anita J, I rewatched his passes from the game yesterday. His completion rate was low, but it was by no means truly represents his play yesterday. Shedeur is talented. Talk to him. It's going to be a really good film breakdown on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we're going to get to see Dillon Gabriel on third down when he was in the game and didn't convert any third downs, because what people are doing is people are acting like Dillon Gabriel didn't play the first half and he wasn't able to move the ball. They're only going to Shedeur, who had no reps the entire time he's been on the Cleveland Browns with the guys he was playing with, but people are grading him more harshly than a person who's been receiving reps from the day he got here. Also, y'all notice that Shedeur is way more athletic than Dillon Gabriel is, and they tried to sell us on Dillon Gabriel being more athletic than Joe Flacco? Hey, they scrambling and scraping for stuff, y'all. Scrambling and scraping. Shedeur, I should be running the scout team, not Bailey Zappi. Get Up is going to ask that question because they're going to say, if the offensive line has never heard his cadence, how can he be running the scout team? So that means I'm getting from that, Shedeur is not even running the scout team. That's what I'm getting from it. Shedeur got to play against the Raider. No way Dillon comes back that fast from concussion protocol. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see him being able to make it back that fast. He is a very mobile quarterback. He is the quarterback who shocks you with his athleticism. He runs when he needs to run. If you notice, once he started getting the feel for the game, On third down, he had 2 good runs on third downs for first downs. He recognized it's not there, take off and go. Don't stand back here and wait. That's what Wack Acho was saying. The 5th rounders don't get reps, but he's a 5th rounder. That's a backup. Gemini, it's totally different. I got you on the reps. It's totally different. A backup linebacker and guys getting hurt is totally different than a quarterback who is going to touch the ball on every offensive snap. It's an apples to oranges comparison. It just shows you that Acho is playing a role. Because then in the end of the clip, Acho started agreeing. And it's like, how did you go from disagreeing to start to also agreeing? It don't make sense to me. So Acho be tripping. Not only do they get reps, they stand next to the starter during practice to learn the game plan. Shedeur Sanders is usually on another field. Keith, talk to him. Talk to him. All the reporters said Shedeur is not really on the field with the starters. That's how you can that's how you can explain how the offensive line hasn't heard his cadence if he's not even on the same field with him. Yeah, Murray Acho's a clown. Trying to make apples to apples comparison when there's only one situation that's even in the ballpark with RG3 and Cousins. Yep. And that was Commander's team or the Redskins at the time who traded additional capital to go up and get RG3. And then they took Cousins in the 4th round. So that's as close as it get, but not, it ain't even really close because one was clearly the guy. Did the playbook yesterday look like Deshaun Watson's playbook because we haven't seen those plays all year? Something changed. They couldn't get to the quick game, which I was calling out in real time. In real time, I'm like, if they're loading up the box, why are you not hitting them with screens? You should have been attacking them with wide receiver screens, tight end screens. You should have been attacking, especially on third down when they're loading up the box like that. Just missed opportunities. So did anyone see Dillon get concussed? So what they are saying is Dillon Gabriel went to run the ball. He went to run the ball, and he got tackled by a couple guys. His head hit the turf or the field. They're saying that's the play, but he came back after that, ran the next play, threw the ball, and he was the one who handed the ball off on the running play. So I don't know exactly when it happened. Dillon did not contribute to any other points on the board. That's a fact. Gemini, that is what people are just moving right past that to kind of go at Shedeur. They're not even a person that got all the reps and was the starter and it was his game plan. He put no points on the board and they're not saying anything. And the defense was giving them the ball close in the red zone, no points on the board. So it's just one of those things. The median number of days for an NFL player to return to play after concussion protocol is 9 days. Yeah, I don't see him coming back and playing this weekend. I don't see him. Also, opening the entire playbook for a rookie getting his first rep with that group is nasty. Come on, man. All you got to do is listen to them talk. They're putting it all out there. Shedeur actually done great things for not having reps. Jibu, I agree. The Deshaun Watson debacle is partly the reason Shedeur is getting a lot of pushback. I agree, but it's still not a good comparison. Yeah, not a good comparison. So I'm not saying you're saying that, but I'm saying people who are trying to compare the two triple threat sports is they're just wrong. Did you notice how the offense had more pep in their step with Shedeur out there? Isaiah Bond, I didn't know he was that fast. Isaiah Bond is super fast. I've been telling people, give Isaiah Bond 3 routes that he should be running. He's running away from defenses, and they are just not getting to him fast enough. Also, remember Jerry Jeudy picking up that first down where he broke 2 tackles, sidestepped a guy, and got past another guy for the first down? When y'all seeing Jeudy moving like that? Kevin stated he didn't know when the concussion occurred. Yeah, I couldn't recall it either. If he was concussed, I need to see Cleveland fine for playing him after the event. That's a fact. That's usually how it goes, Nita. If you play him after, that's what happened to I think that's what happened to the Giants. They were questioning if the Giants should have been fined for Jackson Dart going back out there. Dillon and Kevin Stefanski are faking the injury. It might. I don't know when it happened, so I can't even. Kevin Stefanski don't even know when it happened. So, Shedeur Sanders' class at the podium was exquisite. It was. I was trying to find a point where Shedeur said, "I'm still gonna be me," I still got my confidence, but I don't know if I just was missing it, but it seemed like the Browns might have edited that towards the end of his thing. Zedric, Judy ain't done that all year. Facts. He had some juice. I do believe if Shedeur had started, they would have won. Once he found his footing, they were in there. Latika, that's a fact. That's a fact. If Shedeur, this is how I look at it. If Shedeur had all the reps from the very beginning, from the offseason all the way up until now, I think he would have performed totally different. Totally different. Tool man, what's going on? Think this was unprepared Shedeur running 2-minute drill and the ball moved. There were options. He hit the hands of his receivers. I totally agree. Shedeur Sanders' game reminds me a lot of Jameis Winston, both gunslingers to have similar athleticism. Yeah, Jameis Winston is crazy because he has the arm talent. He can attack every part of the field. He just makes a bad mistake. He makes a bad mistake every game. So, but when it comes to arm talent, you see it. Shedeur can attack any part of the field. My speculation is that the Bulls got to him and they're hiding behind the injury. I think Shedeur was alluding to the impact. Yeah. Remember when I told y'all everything they're doing is to build up Dillon Gabriel's confidence because he's melting right before our eyes and he doesn't have the confidence? Shedeur came out and tried to make himself a shield to protect Dillon Gabriel. And in that, he stated, yeah, Dillon, his confidence not there and the Bulls is not good for the team. So he was trying to defend him there. He was trying to defend him there. Miles after the game press conference was different with DG as quarterback. Yeah, it's no hope. Miles seemed more, it was a tough loss. Miles had a tough game. He didn't seem as upset. He seemed like it was some hope there. The Giants were fine because Daboll went to the blue tent trying to interfere and get Dart back on the field. Yes, you are right. That's what I was thinking of, Marie. I thought I remembered that, but I didn't want to just make it up because I remember seeing that. Jameis is not as accurate as Shedeur is the only difference. I agree. I agree with you, Nita. They have remembered people that's watching sees what's really going on. Facts. Everybody see what's going on. We see what's going on. We see it. Let's get to the next one. Who we got up next? All right, we got Herm Edwards. I want y'all to hear how coaches who used to coach in the NFL, played in the NFL, how they break it down. And listen to what he's saying.
Shedeur Sanders, 4 of 16. That's a tough completion percentage. He handled himself well in the post-game press conference, I got to say that. What did you see with him on the field?
A guy that hadn't played. The speed of the game caught him by surprise. Yeah. I mean, this is real football game, not the preseason anymore, real football.
Said he hadn't been hit since college.
Whole deal. I mean, so it came on him fast, right? And he had an honest assessment of how he played. He knows. Football players know when the game's over, you know how you play. Yeah. And he's looking at this going, I'm hoping I get another chance.
Did you see any glimpses of sort of positive, anything you can work off of there?
Rookie quarterback, I mean, he do it 16 times or something like that. I mean, but it was like, okay, I can see it. Well, this is why they drafted him, right? You don't know until they play. Now he's on film. He'll be a lot better in practice this week for what happened to him today. And probably when he goes and plays in another game, he'll be a lot better for him.
Okay. Let's go.
Talk to him, Herm. So you see how you can critique Shedeur's play. Shedeur's critiquing his own play, but you saw glimpses. You saw flashes. You saw him attacking the field. When you see him attacking the field, you know it's totally different than what we got from Dillon Gabriel. I wish he had hit that dude in the backfield for a TD. You talking about Gage Larverdin? That would have been crazy. Who was the reporter who asked Shedeur what was the positive stuff he did last night? I can't remember who specifically said it. We can get to it, though. We can get to it. Has there been a time this year where their teammate highlighted Dillon Gabriel's leadership? First off, I just want to say Dillon's a good kid. That's what we know about Dillon. We know he's a good kid. 4 of 16 doesn't tell you everything because he had a lot of receivers that dropped as well. Stats don't tell the whole story. That's a fact. Jeffrey, you just summed up why I was disagreeing with Cam Newton when he was speaking on the Browns offense, because he clearly didn't watch the game. They were reading the stat sheet and they were trying to make their full assessment off of the stat sheet. You got to watch the game. You got to watch it back to see what's really happening. So I agree with you, Jeffrey. Defense for Ravens played well for that drop in the end zone. Could have been 6. To a man, that's a fact. The defender made a great play on the ball. His arm was in between Gage Larvin and the ball, and he swiped out. It was textbook. I'm patiently waiting for Emory Hunt assessment. Yeah, I've been waiting. I've been looking. I'm patiently waiting for Kevin Stefanski to get fired.
You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job.
How about Mary Kay staying on Kevin's neck? Remember I told y'all eventually the Cleveland media will turn on you.
Cleveland at home.
Let me pause this. Eventually the Cleveland media will turn on you and they will be like, you had me out here looking crazy. Mary Kay, that's why she's going to Kevin Stefanski that way, because he had her out here looking crazy and she turning on him. She putting the pressure on him. Well, I understand the question, Mary Kay. It's like, come on, man. We ain't trying to hear that. Dollar General is a good kid. Yeah, that's all they got. He a good kid. That second down miss in the end zone with timing could be many TDs. I agree. Are you talking about the one to you're talking about the one to Isaiah Bond at the back of the touchdown? And he's not a kid, played 6 years in college. Yeah, he closer to senior citizen than he is the kid. But you know how they do it. Clyde, what's going on? Maybe, just maybe, it's not that Dillon is not bad after all. Maybe it's the play call, and once again, Shedeur throws long passes and Dillon tosses dinks and dunks. Clyde, I don't think he can see the field. I think he just handicapped by some things that cost him. You know, he can't see the full field. He can't attack the full field. So, you know, the only way to open up the offense is to throw it over the top. Those intangibles that Shedeur has separates him by far. They need that in the locker room. That's a fact. If y'all noticed yesterday when we were watching the game, it was coming out of halftime. Do y'all notice how my voice changed when I said Shedeur is talking to the starting receivers? I'm like, hold on, Shedeur got his helmet on. He's talking to the starting receivers. And so if I'm hype, y'all hype, the fans in the stadium hype, the receivers are hype, he's talking directly to them. It's a totally different thing. Totally different thing. If that was Cedric Tillman and not Gage Larvin, that would have been a touchdown. Not Gage. Cedric Tillman does have strong hands, but for some reason they don't utilize him in that role where he gets to use his size and athleticism to take advantage of smaller defenders. I don't know why they haven't unlocked that with him yet. Not today, but over a season. Yeah, I think he's gonna be better. He'll be better. I don't see how they turn back to Dillon after every play-by-play. Let me tell y'all. So let me tell y'all this. This is what I foresee happening, and I'm going to get back to y'all chat, so we're going to keep going national as we break this thing down. This is what I see happening. I see Dillon Gabriel not clearing concussion protocol this week. I see Shedeur Sanders going back in to play the Ravens. That's what I see happening. The Raiders. Shedeur playing the Raiders. I see the Browns winning that game. And then I see Kevin Stefanski going back to Dillon Gabriel when he clears concussion protocol. Unfortunately, y'all. I'm just letting y'all know what I see based on how Kevin Stefanski is speaking about Dillon Gabriel. I see that happening. So I'm just preparing y'all. It has the potential to happen. Shedeur balling out versus the Raiders and Kevin Stefanski being stubborn and going back to Dillon. I see it. That was on Isaiah Bond as well. He didn't run the best route. Shedeur Sanders tried to get him in the right position and he wasn't there. Yeah, he was trying to lead him. I don't see how they turn back to Dillon even after. Yeah, Zedric, I told you what I feel, man. I think they go back to Dillon Gabriel after Shedeur balls out, and I think that's solely on Kevin Stefanski because Kevin Stefanski is being stubborn. Ivy League Mac, what's going on? Maya, what's going on? You snuck in there. Maya, what's going on? It can be both. DG is bad and the play calling stinks. Yeah, combination. I like how the defense got that fumble recovery after Shedeur Sanders' interception. Facts. C.A. Anderson, they are playing hard for him. They're playing hard for him. Only one question. It didn't look like Isaiah Bond was looking for the ball in the end zone. I got to see it on the all 22. I went back and watched all Shedeur's throws from the TV copy, but it's really hard to see people running through the play and all those things. So it's hard. I gotta wait for the all 22 to come out to get a better view of it. Rizzo said he told Gage Larvin sat in the locker room for an hour because of his drop ball in the end zone. Larvin is one of Shedeur's trusted wide receivers from the practice squad in preseason. Yes. When we get to it later, we're gonna hear Charmaine, what's going on?
Oh my God! Wow!
Everybody put Charmaine in the chat.
I got money.
Everybody put Charmaine in the chat. She is singing this song right here.
You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job.
I appreciate you, Charmaine. I appreciate you. For some reason, it's not letting me show stuff on the screen, but I appreciate y'all. Let's see. I was in here. I like the fact that they care so much that they are Shedeur sitting on the side as after the game, just taking it all in. I appreciate that. I appreciate Gage Larvin taking it in, being hard on himself to make the play. You need failure to achieve success. And I'm not saying failure like be out of the league, but you need to drop that pass so you know next time that you got to fight through the defender. You need to go through where you could have won the game and you lose so you are prepared for it the next time. So I'm perfectly fine with them taking it all in and trying to bounce back and get better. I have no problem with that. I agree. I heard your voice, 84 for Cleveland. You did not fight for the touchdown, 84. Watch Indiana fight for the TD against Penn State. Yeah, it's going to happen, but hopefully it doesn't happen again. Hopefully this happens and they learn from it. Kevin Stefanski will get shut down if Sanders wins and tries to go back to DG. I think that's what he's going to do. That's my gut. That's what my gut tells me. Tony, what's going on? That's what my gut tells me. Kevin Stefanski must have true job security. No one would move the way he moves if they're worried about losing their job. That's a fact, Maya. They've been saying they haven't heard anything in the locker room. I bet that's going to change now. That's a fact. That is a fact. Let's see. Let me catch up so we can get through it. They also saying the receivers had not been used with Dillon. That is definitely going to change because we have access to everyone is going to eat. I agree. He wasn't even throwing the ball. Deep. He wasn't targeting a receiver, so it's a different ball game. Tessa, what's going on? People aren't talking about DG having 159 yards and Shedeur Sanders has 49 yards in one game. They're not talking about it. For some reason, they're acting like Dillon Gabriel didn't play in this game. They're acting like it never happened. They're erasing it like it didn't happen, which is crazy. All it takes is Kevin off the hot seat. Now the conversation is Shedeur Sanders any good. Yeah, it's all about Shedeur now. All about Shedeur. You are correct. No matter how well Shedeur plays, Stefanski will go back to Dillon. Shirley, unfortunately, that's how I see it. And how you doing, Shirley? He can try to go back to Dillon, but that's going to get very ugly. I agree. I don't think it's a smart thing to do. Shedeur Sanders was winging it with the first team for the first time, but Gage knew he had that TD for 12. That's why he stood there after the play, because that was both their opportunity they waited for. I agree. I can only imagine what Colin says. I had to unsubscribe this season. It's going to surprise you what Colin says after this. No serious football person thinks 2 quarters of football is enough to evaluate Sanders when DG needs 7+ games to be evaluated. Talk to him, Ivy League Mac. This is the point where I see Jimmy and AB step in. Yeah, I can see that happening. I can see it. Jim Schwartz and Andrew Berry, I've noticed they've been taking more accountability. Yep. I totally agree with that. Let's listen to how they break it down.
And I will say this, John. I firmly believe this, that if Cleveland had a big-time top 10 quarterback, they would be a Super Bowl team, a Super Bowl bubble team. I think their defense is Myles Garrett's unblockable. What did he have? 4 sacks again? He's going to have 28 sacks. He's unblockable. Devin Bush, pick 6. They look a little like Seattle defensively. It's like they're playing with 12 to 13 guys. And at home, the weather's cold. I think they've got, I mean, they led 16, was it 3, 16, 10? They were 16, controlling. For a minute, yeah, and they were pushing Baltimore around. And it was Baltimore's 3rd straight road game, so that's one of the reasons I like Cleveland. Then Dillon Gabriel, who really is stabilized the offense. They're not great, but he stabilized it. He leaves, Shedeur comes in, and Shedeur looks a little over his skis the first drive or two. He's a little lost. And then he puts him in a position where he's driving to win. He makes a couple of nice throws, a couple of nice plays. He was fine. It was kind of fun to watch. But my takeaway is Baltimore 3rd straight. Now they go home, I think, for 3 straight home games. So this was bound to be an ugly game.
So Colin in the past has flip-flopped on Shedeur. When he's going through it, and he's recapping it, he's saying, actually, it wasn't that bad from Shedeur. I didn't agree with that stabilized statement either, Maya. I didn't agree with that. I think this is people who have ties to Dillon Gabriel, so they always try to put a positive in there. I didn't agree with that, but he called it how it was. That's the most honest assessment I've heard Colin give Shedeur. The most honest assessment I've heard him give Shedeur. It was fun to watch. He was kind of out of his skis a little bit. He got settled in. He made some great throws. He had them with a chance to win it at the end. That's the most grounded, like you said, Zedric, the most grounded you've heard him speak on Shedeur. So if these people who flip-flopped on Shedeur, if they are speaking this way, the people who are just trying to write him off, they were just waiting for a reason to write him off. They were never being honest with the conversation. And y'all were ready. Y'all were bracing yourselves just to hear something crazy from him. And that's the reason why I played it, because the national media looks at this situation totally different than the local media. They look at it totally different. So this is the most honest he's been. The most honest he's been. So people who are not fans of Shedeur are being this honest. How can we listen to the local media who's trying to crush Shedeur? Stabilized sounds better than game manager. It does. Let's get to Unc and Ocho. Now, it's a reason why I started local and went national, because I just want y'all to see the difference. Let's see what they got to say.
I found it on social media. For Kevin Stefanski to say the first time that Shedeur Sanders had taken a snap with the starters, with the ones, was in this game, is malpractice. At no point in time, and this is what I said, Ocho, so at no point in time, so you don't think Dillon Gabriel could possibly get hurt. He can't possibly bring a knee, bring a shoulder, get concussion. There's no possible way anything could possibly go wrong that you want to get Shedeur like 1 reps with the ones, 2 reps with the ones. I ain't saying split it 50-50. I understand that. But even when John was taking the majority of the reps, if we did 10 reps in a period, the backup would take 2. Just in case.
Nobody's asking for 50-50. They're saying just give him some so he has an opportunity. Baltimore gonna win the division. Aaron Rodgers got hurt yesterday. Cincinnati keeps losing.
Oh my God! Wow!
I got money.
Shout out to you, Tessa. I appreciate you. Everybody put Tessa in the chat. Tessa hit the trooper chat. She says, Shedeur worked with what he had. That is a fact. He worked with what he had. He was working his way, feeling his way through the game. This was just raw talent from Shedeur. If people say this was anything else, this was just raw talent from Shedeur from playing football his whole life. This had nothing to do with the Browns, really. A lot of people are bad faith participants about Shedeur Sanders because they are focused. They're focused on things that are not football related. Envy, jealousy, culture wars, etc. Ivy League Mac, I totally agree. Totally agree. Yep, Dan Orlovsky even said on Friday he would take some reps with the first team when he was a backup. That's funny. He said he would take some because this morning he tried to say something different. How is the Browns' first round pick playing because he is quiet as play? Brown should have picked Travis. Shedeur Sanders and Travis would have won the game. They would have did some stuff now. Mason Graham, he had a better game yesterday. It's just not a sexy pick to take a D tackle that high in the draft. It's just not a sexy pick. So y'all hear it. Y'all hear the tone is changing. Let's hear a little bit more.
So for Shedeur Sanders, here we are in week 11. The man got drafted in May, and at no point in time had he taken one snap with the ones. It's very, very disappointing.
Hold on. Look, not only is it disappointing, right? And a lot of people will say, "Hey, listen, you and Unc, you were screaming for Shedeur to start. You wanted him to get in there, and look at his stat line. Look at what he did. Well, obviously, I'm confused, and I'm trying to understand. This ain't Madden. You don't just take out one quarterback and put another quarterback in and expect success to happen, especially when you haven't had any reps with the ones. When it comes to the play calling, what play calls are you going to be able to call for a quarterback that hasn't had any reps with the ones? You don't know what he does well, what he doesn't do, you don't know what he does well. You don't know what he's not going to be good at because there's no chemistry. There's no chemistry. So you're just out there calling plays all willy-nilly, not knowing how the offense can run. And I know as a quarterback, you're supposed to be prepared.
You see how people who play the game not crushing them, not beating them up, they know they put him into a bad position. Mason Graham has been top 5 and top 5 for pressures for defensive tackles all year. He's having a good year. He's been better attacking on passing downs. On rushing downs, he's been getting pushed around a little bit sometimes throughout the year. But yesterday, to me, was his best game as a run stopper because he's been solid in passing situations. But in run game, yesterday was his best game against the run to me, considering what Baltimore does with running the ball. Dano was shady this morning. He did some flip-flopping, Maya. Reporters realizing they've been sold a bad bill of goods by Kevin, expecting more to flip. Yep. They said, you got me out here looking crazy. They are really at Kevin Stefanski's neck with the questions. They're becoming more relentless. You know what distance to recent minds remind me of when the Broncos had to go to a receiver to play quarterback. Yeah, that actually happened to the Browns too. Remember the Browns had to go to Terrell Pryor when he was at receiver at quarterback. It was actually against Miami. I was at that game. But also you got to think Mason Graham shed a lot of weight too. He's trying to get used to it. I agree. Yeah, I'm not crushing him. I'm not crushing Mason Graham. I'm just noting that him as a run stopper, you saw him jump off the page yesterday. Every week we see a Stefanski non-talk during post-game and weekly press conference, then leak to local press all week long. Nasty work. Facts. Nasty work. Where was Quinshawn at in the fourth quarter? In the fourth quarter, Baltimore Ravens sold out to stop the run. So when they were selling out to stop the run, if y'all heard me during the stream, y'all heard me saying they got to use Baltimore's aggressiveness against them. They got to throw quick passes behind it. They got to get to the screen game. You might not be able to hand it off on first down. And they just did not get to it. They didn't get to it. I wasn't the only one who saw that. Other people saw it. Let's keep it going. Let's see how some other players are looking at Shedeur's play. We got Asante Samuel.
That he had poise and confidence, and he came into this game that, like, okay, I don't even care what happens, man. I'm ready to show the world what I can do, right? Stats won't show that, man. You know, his back is against the wall, right? But he showed that he is ready for any moment that he is thrown into. That's what I saw from Shedeur Sanders, right? The stats won't show these things. You know,
I know exactly what you mean.
Some people may not like, you know, what they saw from Shedeur Sanders, and, you know, people going to be complaining left and right and left about the interceptions and the lack of throws. But I like this confidence, and he wasn't afraid to push the football down the field to give his playmakers a chance to make a play, right? And the Bulls, man, the Bulls were starting to get out.
That's it. I agree. You got to take the top off the defense to open up so you can run the ball underneath. Shedeur Sanders showed fight, and win or lose, he kept fighting. I agree. They always screaming, we've been asking to put 12 in, but we've also been asking for him to get reps too. Sabrina, you really just hit a great point right there. They are being disingenuous when they say, y'all wanted him to play, now he got to play. We wanted him to get an opportunity to go through a week the exact same way as other backups have been going through weeks, the same way this week, how other starters will go through the week. People are being disingenuous when they say that. They want to see Shedeur fail, so they want to see Shedeur in the worst possible circumstances so they can say he's not good. They are not being intellectually honest and having a conversation with you. They are not being honest. Rex Ryan was trying to manufacture some BS by saying Shedeur Sanders should have sought out Lamar to shake his hand. These analysts are tired of reaching. Yep. Rex Ryan got caught in a position where he started to defend Shedeur, and he caught himself mid-conversation and started to flip and turn on Shedeur. That's what he did. Have you noticed Caleb Williams looks improved with the new coach? Clyde, talk to him. Talk to him. Do y'all remember everybody was talking bad about Caleb Williams? They were saying he holds the ball too long. He took all those sacks. Some of the same stuff that they tried to tag on Shedeur. But now look at Caleb when you have a creative offensive mind who has been building him up the whole year. What was the blitz numbers between Dillon and Shedeur? Because it seems like the Ravens blitzed more when Shedeur was in there. I gotta look it up. I have to look it up. PFF usually takes 2 days for their stats to come out. But I'll try to look it up. All right. Nita J wanted to see Skip. Let's see. I don't know where to start it at.
First two balls. Then.
All right. So this is when he's talking about it.
Baltimore's defense is getting healthy. Baltimore's defense knows how to play. Baltimore's defense against a rookie quarterback that has not played a down.
I agree,
gets
Jeffrey.
Thrown into a game against the Ravens, who are getting healthy and hot, is going to have a hard time in the second half. Shedeur came out, as is his way, with his poise, and he completed his first two balls. Then
Nita, you seen it in real time. Mary Kay is going to Kevin Stefanski's neck. She's not taking it up because she probably feels like he made her look bad this whole year, and it was coming, leak from him. Everybody said Caleb holds onto the ball too long. He's winning football games. They say the same thing about Shedeur. Facts. You need a creative offensive mind.
Then it got rugged. It got raggedy. It got over his next 7. But finally, even after Mark Andrews looks like he was going to run some kind of tush-push play and faked it and actually took the snap and rolled out and found nobody home on the perimeter and planted and cut up the sideline and went all the way for a touchdown, and all of a sudden
I got to speed you up a little bit, Skip.
By 7. What was it? I'm losing track. I've watched so much football. 23-16. And Shedeur got his shot. And I saw flashes of vintage Colorado, Jackson State, Shedeur Sanders. I believe in this kid with all my heart and soul. I believe in his poise. I believe in his accuracy. I believe in his makeup. I believe in his toughness. I just believe in his it factor for playing the hardest position there is to play in sports. But you won't see the position get any harder than it was with him getting thrown into the fire with Dillon Gabriel's game plan against the Baltimore defense when they are desperate to pull out a win on the road against a bad Cleveland team. And yet, in that last-ditch drive, I saw flashes of Shedeur's it factor.
Yep.
Right away, he goes 25 yards to that kid, Harold Fannin Jr., another fellow rookie out of Bowling Green. All he does is catch the football. Made a nice catch on a really big-time throw. It's just hard for me to watch Dillon Gabriel. I know Dillon Gabriel. I watched him for 2 years at my college team that I grew up rooting for, the University of Oklahoma. He's just a soft armor. He's a Tua. They've been playing not to lose with him. I thought he'd be a little better than he's been, frankly. He was begging to get beaten out by Shedeur. And after the 25-yarder, it just took my breath away because you saw arm strength, you saw conviction, you saw authority on the throw that I have not seen from Dillon Gabriel. Then it gets to 3rd and 10, and Shedeur goes to Judy, who busts a couple of tackles and makes the 10 yards for the first down. Then Shedeur took off and ran for 5. And I've gone back and forth on Arena Gridiron. with my man Jay Gruden, John's brother, who coached obviously for 5.5 years in Washington, head coached. He's a little skeptical of Shedeur. He's not condemning him. He just says, I'm not sure I believe it. I don't see the arm strength, and I don't see the mobility. And I kept saying, no, at Colorado, or heck, at Jackson State, I saw underrated mobility. I saw them run some quarterback draws for Shedeur at Colorado. I saw them call some read option for Shedeur to keep the football at Colorado on some key third downs. So he takes off for a nice 5-yard gain, looked good doing it. He's not his dad, didn't get his dad's.
Hey, yeah, Skip is riding. He riding with Shedeur. Facts. I think about Caleb's development every time they say that about Shedeur. Facts. Dillon Gabriel, longest throw was 23 yards. I think it was 26 yards on that. They called a fake wide receiver screen on the seam route to, I think it was Harold Fannin called it. It was 26 yards, and Shedeur Sanders' longest throw was 25 yards. So in the same game, he threw for just almost as far as Dillon Gabriel did all year, which is crazy. Yeah, Skip riding for his boy. If we started this season with Shedeur instead of Flacco, we would have a better record than Pittsburgh. We would have more exciting football and be fighting for a playoff spot too, man. I totally agree. Skip has been making a lot of sense after getting that tight end post firing from Fox Sports. Skip is a different person. I was not sure how he was going to be on the arena, but I think him being around players and coaches on the arena and just being in a non-debate style environment, it brings out the best in Skip, because then you just state how you feel and you're not going in there trying to counter other people's points. You're just saying, this is how I feel, and you just laying it out there. And I think that's a way better circumstances and setup for Skip. So y'all know Skip is riding for him. Skip is saying, hey, the athleticism is there. The arm talent is there. We're going to see what Jay Gruden got to say. We're going to see what Jay got to say, because Jay Gruden was saying he doesn't believe in him. The receivers will step their game up if they knew catchable passes were coming their way. I totally agree with that. They know that they don't even have an opportunity to receive passes when Dillon Gabriel's there. All right, so this is CBS. Shedeur Sanders, athletic. He's not blazing fast, but he's fast enough to get away from defenders when he needs to. That's it. Perfect description. This is CBS.
That he's going to be able to go back, watch. Skavanski going to have to do a better job of protecting him, play calling. I would have loved to see some more screens implemented in that ball game, because the Baltimore Ravens just had their ears pent back the entire game, just sending 5, sending 6. So therefore, now you have to force those guys in the back end to make tackles, and Skavanski didn't do a good job of game planning. Well, adjusting.
And this is what's expected in the life for a rookie quarterback who has yet to play. You get your first action in the month of November, which is a very, very important month when you look at playoff implications. And you're playing against a divisional foe who has no room for error in the Baltimore Ravens. It felt like when Shedeur came into this game, instantly it clicked. We're bringing pressure. Let's see, can he handle the heat? And when you look at the entire ordeal with their offense, there are a lot of concerns with the Cleveland Browns, especially on the offensive line, and it surfaced for Shedeur Sanders. And to Pat's point, as a play caller, that's where you have to make the adjustments. Our offensive line, they're a bit uneasy right now. Let's get him some rhythm throws. The first pass was something that I would love to see implemented with Shedeur the entire opportunity in the second half. The first pass was a rollout, quick rhythm throw. Get him in that rhythm. Get him in space where he's not a sitting duck for the Ravens to kind of peel their ears back on and hunt, because they hunt. Now for the Baltimore Ravens, this was a game.
So when you listen to former players, do you hear former players say it's nothing the Browns offense can do? Or do you hear former players say it's opportunities there, it's things with the play call they could do? Patrick Peterson, the first thing he said was, man, they should have threw some screen passes. He said it right away. I was calling during the game. I'm like, man, they're lining up showing zero blitz. You can throw all type of bubble screens out of this, because even if they're in zone, for them to run and get to cover guys, you're going to put them in a bind. And that's what I wanted to see them do. They didn't really get to it, but former players are all speaking the same tune. They're all saying it was opportunities there. They just didn't get to it. It was opportunities there. All right, let's see. Kevin, please set Livingston and Tevin Jenkins at left tackle. That's what he said. Was drafted as he's young. What I expect from Shedeur with his first start is to be more comfortable with Judy, Njoku, and Tillman. Wouldn't be surprised if we see one of them have their best game. I wouldn't be surprised by that either. Skip has a real relationship with Deion. He is riding with Shedeur and Deion until the end. Deion supposed Skip as well after Shannon left the show. Deion said on air that he appreciated that. Yep. Skip is on your side. He ain't switching up. Feedback. Off the record, D is post-Sunday football media roundup is a brilliant concept. I'm getting all the key takeaways from key sources. Post-Sunday football media roundup is a brilliant concept. Okay, got you. I appreciate that. I had to read it twice. Ivy League Mac, this is one of the things I want to do on Monday. A lot of people just come in on Monday and they just yell at the screen or they just yell about things they saw. I want to show y'all a wide angle view of former players speaking on it, the media speaking on it, Cleveland locally, as well as coaches and everything else. This gives you a true understanding of what we just saw yesterday. So that's why I do it this way. So I appreciate you noticing that, Ivy League Mac. When Shedeur gets comfortable handling the blitz, people respect him too, man. I agree. Opportunities he gave to former black players. Yes, Marie, I know exactly what you're talking about. He was always putting former black players on any other shows that he was on. So I agree with you there. The ones that are watching the games of film are, yep, they see it. You have that picture of the gaping hole runway to Shedeur where the O-line had 4 guys blocking the same 2 Ravens players. Yeah, we can pull it up. That's been one that everybody has been putting on social media. Let me find it real quick. I'm trying to find it. I know it was a still shot. Worst come to worst, I know where to find it. It's rumors that John Gruden wants the head coach job at Cleveland, and Deion wants to coach Shedeur. I told y'all, I think that here it is. I got it for you. That's the only way I thought Coach Prime would come back. I thought Coach Prime would come back if he was coaching Shedeur and if he was given the opportunity. Let me see. All right, I got you right here. All right, so this is, remember I called this out during the game. I said this twist play gave them a lot of problems. So what happens is, actually, let me put my drawing tool up so I can show y'all what I'm writing on the screen. All right, so this defender right here, I'm just going to put a dot on him. This defender, he started here. He comes from the outside. He loops back around. That's called a twist play. He is wide open here coming to the middle. For whatever reason, they all are blocking to this side because they show simulated pressure. So they didn't know which way it was coming from. And that's why he was able to get free to Shedeur. I believe this is the play that Shedeur threw the interception on, if I remember correctly, but that's what happened. The offensive line was confused. They didn't know what to do. So that's another downside to your offensive line being injured and guys coming in and out. They're not on the same page. So that's what happened. You got to clean up. Got to be able to handle. Those twist plays and those stunts. Got to be able to. Let's switch this back over. All right, we still got this here. Let's send some of y'all comments. I was trying to say that we need to start Tevin Jenkins at left tackle, not Livingston. Okay. Oh, I agree with that. Livingston is a project left tackle. With time, he probably can get better. So I agree with you, Jeffrey. Dano just said he would go weeks and weeks without first team reps. The Lions knew it wouldn't help. It's not the same with Shedeur. I agree. Ivy League Mac, I totally agree with you. The media roundup is hollering at folks who watch game film versus people with agendas. If you notice that people who actually watch the game, the way they speak on the game is totally different. Totally different. Who we got next?
Needs as many reps as possible.
Let's skip Emmanuel Acho for now. Let's go to them last. Let's go to Get Up this morning and how they were speaking on
Browns and Ravens.
I got to go past where they're showing the highlights. I don't want to get copyright. We're going to go to when they start speaking. So here we go. Let me hit y'all comments before we play this. Quincy trying to say that was on Shedeur because it's his job to get the protection right. But if the offensive line didn't know his cadence, how would they know what protection he's calling? Jeffrey, that's a fact. It's people that, hey, shout out to them for doing content, but they clearly are trying to it's clearly they are trying to paint a narrative about Shedeur. So those people, I ain't even trying to rock. Hey, you say we don't gotta hear Acho today? All right. Hey, if y'all don't want to hear him, we don't gotta hear him. All right, let me see. Where was I at? Cam is actually making sense on First Take. All right, we can see if they put some clips out on First Take. We can try to pull it up. It was reported that when they had the protection meetings for Ravens defense, Shedeur Sanders wasn't in there. Oh my goodness! While Coach Prime will get both his sons on the Browns like he wants, maybe we'll get Will Shepard from Green Bay. That would be nice. Not Deion wants to coach Shedeur. Gruden wants to coach Shedeur. Sorry for that typo. All good. I don't think I remember Coach Prime said the only way he would coach in the NFL was the only way of coaching NFL was to coach his son. So, but I could see Gruden wanted to coach him. All right, we got it. Ivy League Mac, there you go. Ivy League Mac said it. Ivy League Mac said it. This is what we're going to do. We're going to watch this, and then if ESPN puts the clip up or First Take, we're going to get to that too. All right, let's play it.
That was obviously a mess in so many different ways, and it feels like a bit of an organizational failure. You don't need to have been a quarterback in the NFL to see that he didn't look ready to play at all. He has been the backup quarterback there for a while now, and it looked from the moment he ran out onto the field, it looked like they had no conceivable chance.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he saw things that he's never seen before when it comes to pressures, and he's felt speed that he's never felt before when it comes to Baltimore's defense. I know there's been a lot been made about no snaps or practice reps with the first team, the starters. I think
this
that's
is key
more
right here,
common
y'all.
than people anticipate. I would go weeks as the backup quarterback, weeks, if not months, without taking a single rep with our starting
but
offense.
you were sort of a seasoned veteran backup who was there for that reason because you didn't need snaps and they could throw you in case of trouble. This is a rookie who's never taken a snap in an NFL game.
It's also a rookie.
You see how quick he shut him down? He shut him down that quick. Don't tell me it's the same. It ain't the same. He shut him down quick. Shut him down real quick. Quincy trying to get clicks by being in the middle, but clearly holding a biased stance. Yeah, that's the whole point. Well, that's why my stuff is called Eliminate the Gray. We're not hiding in the gray area. We're gonna tell you how we feel about a situation in the subject. I want Joe Brady as head coach. Remember Joe Flacco threw a similar interception in game 1 or 2. It was similar to Shedeur's interception. The Joe interception, Jerry Jeudy stood at a spot and Joe threw the interception pass over 15. Clyde, on the film breakdown, I'm gonna look for that. I'm gonna look for that later on today. So by Wednesday we can show that play. CO7 111. What's going on? Brent, what's going on? Acho is a brother that wouldn't even have asked to put on. Acho is a brother who wouldn't even have asked to put on a dress and be the main character at Diddy parties to climb the ladder. Rex Ryan at first made some good points, then he switches up. Yes, he did. Rex Ryan caught himself and started switching up. Q-Dog, what's going on? National media not happy with Cleveland head coach. Facts, I told y'all. I headed the panel on Get Up this morning. Rex Ryan showed his arse today. Yeah, he started saying too many good things that made sense. Then he switched it up. Dan Orlovsky is disingenuous and a liar. I agree. I really wonder who is advocating for Shedeur in the meetings because watching him yesterday, they can't go back to Dillon. I agree. Yeah, Mike, shut that nonsense down. He has been my guy since 2000. Loved him on Mike and Mike. Yep. He shut it down real quick and say, nah, you was a vet. That's a rookie. It's not the same.
Rookie who's playing in front of him, who's only been playing for 6 games or so. So you're trying to get him ready. I don't think it's the perfect signs. Do I think it's odd that Shedeur hasn't had a single snap of practice rep? Yes, but I don't think it's something where.
So how do you start out by saying it's normal for backups not to get reps? Then once you get pushed back on it, you got to say, do I think it's odd? So you already backtracking less than a minute. Remember I told y'all, he started backtracking in less than a minute. He switched up quick, backtracking.
Everyone's making it out to be like, oh my gosh, you should be splitting the reps with Dillon Gabriel.
Splitting is maybe too strong a word. I hear what you're saying, but D-Wood, what was it you said about the...
Y'all hear that? Mike is not letting him have it. He said splitting is too strong of a word. He said not splitting some of the reps. Called him out.
Offensive lineman, when he came out there for the first time, they were hearing what? Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, I mean, hearing his cadence for the first time. Wyatt Teller. Like, I found that, like,
Coming out of halftime, it was the first time that their offensive line starting group had heard
his cadence, which is
in a game.
That is very, very odd for something like that. Yeah, we usually
or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, usually, listen, as a backup, you would have maybe on a Friday you might get a couple. To have the starting offensive line not hear your cadence at all is very, very it's very strange. For the Cleveland Browns. I find it very odd.
Something there just doesn't seem right, Rex.
No, 100% it doesn't seem right. And look, here's the thing. And is it the kid or is it how you have treated this guy? Like, I don't know where the fine line is, but there's, certainly a disconnect. Like, when I see, like, this kid on the bench, this is after the game. Number one, it's not the 7th game of the World Series. You lost a game that nobody cares about.
So he is calling him out for caring about winning and losing. He's trying to call him out for it. You see how he said, is it the kid or is it they don't want to call out the Cleveland Browns? They're very hesitant to call out the Cleveland Browns. Very hesitant. Dan knows talking in bad faith. Mike knows Dan is in the tank for Stefanski. That's a fact. He's not letting that slide.
All right. And by the way, Lamar Jackson, a 2-time MVP, was looking for you. Like, is there such a disconnect here?
How do you know he didn't meet with Lamar Jackson in the back? See, this is where they're trying to pile on Shedeur and they say things that make no sense. You don't know if they actually met. You don't know if they jersey swapped. You don't know if they exchanged numbers. You don't know any of that. You are assuming it didn't happen because you didn't see it. That's where people end up putting their foot in their mouth.
Is it the kid's fault? Is it the organization's fault? I have no idea. All right. But I am going to say this. The only energy I saw in the entire stadium was when that kid popped on the field.
Right.
When Shedeur walked on the field. You know who was wanting to see him play?
The fans.
The dang fans. And you know who never cared? His teammates. What the hell is going on in Cleveland? Yeah.
What is he talking about? Did y'all see an energy from the Cleveland Browns players when Shedeur got on the field? Everybody saw the energy from the teammates and the players and the way they were playing. They're looking at Rex. Dan Orlowski is looking super confused. He like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? They're looking at him. Woody is looking at me. What are you saying? They don't even know what he's saying right now.
Going on in Cleveland. And so to me, it's like, are you not giving this kid a chance from day one? Why the hell did you trade up for him in the first place?
Who's running
Or is it something about the kid that you can't stand? I don't know.
Scout team? How does the offensive line not have heard his cadence before?
Yeah.
We don't give him any reps in a walkthrough in a 7-on-7. It's odd. I don't think he should be getting a gajillion reps.
So now it's odd. So remember, Dan Orlowski, he started this segment by saying backups can go weeks and months without getting reps. He wouldn't get them in Detroit. Then Mike pushed back on him. Then he said, oh, but you were a seasoned vet. This is a rookie. So he switched it up there. Now, after all this talking, he's like, well, it's odd that they haven't heard his cadence. Switching up. tap dancing all over the
Team,
place.
You're a backup quarterback. Obviously, you would run the scout team, right?
So if he's running the scout team, how is the offensive line not hurt his cadence?
I don't know. Like, maybe he's not. Like, hell, maybe he's not. I don't know.
You see how they all came to the conclusion? Dang, maybe he's not even running the scout team. Maybe he's not running the scout team. So let's just go down the list. So if you are not getting first team reps as a backup, Maurice, what's going on? Not getting first team reps as a backup. O-line has never heard your cadence. You're most likely, they just came to the conclusion he's probably not running the scout team. How are the Cleveland Browns developing Shedeur Sanders? That's the question. You see how their brain is working? It's happening in real time where they're like, dang, maybe he's not getting no reps at all. You think? That's what people have been saying the whole time. It took them all this time to finally catch up to what people said months ago.
But that would even be stranger. If this kid's not running the scout team, that would blow me away. He's a backup quarterback.
Just to go back, he hadn't taken a snap. Going back to training camp with the starting offense, all the work went to Joe Flacco. Sure. It went to Kenny Pickett. It went to Dillon Gabriel. It never went to Shedeur Sanders. So that when he stepped onto the field for the first time yesterday, this is the first time they're hearing his cadence. He's playing behind the line.
Why did you trade up for him? Why in the hell did you trade up for this guy if you have you're not going to play him? I don't understand that. Why the hell would you trade up for a player you're going to give no chance to? Makes no sense.
That's the way it felt. And for any of you who didn't get to see the game because it was on up.
All right. So remember when people said the sabotage word? And they said, Kevin Stefanski is honorable. He's a good man. They all came out defending him. Well. Look where we are now. Now, they went through one segment and they got to the end of it and they realized they're not setting Shedeur up for success. It took all that time for them finally to realize they had to just talk through it here. They had to talk through it. They had to realize they're not setting him up for success. There you go. Even the people who don't believe in Shedeur, they just came to the conclusion that they're not doing Shedeur any favors and helping him. Not doing him any favors. This is why when you just get out there and you don't have an understanding of what's happening, people have been right. Every step of the way, I keep telling y'all have been right. You have been right if you called out Kevin Stefanski in the beginning. You were right if you called out how the Cleveland Browns are handling Shedeur. You have been right the entire time. It's taken them 6 months, 7 months later to realize, man, them people was right the whole time. Come on, man. Let me get to some of y'all comments. They finally realized it. Not negative. What is he talking about? Yeah, Maurice, I don't know what he was talking about. He just was saying words there. How exactly is it the kid's fault? He should have just been silent when it comes to Shedeur. Dan didn't expect Mike and Damon to say what they said. Facts. He was caught off guard with that. Then he had to agree. A lot of old school coaches and players do not like me type of players versus guys who are exclusively folded on team, but the times have changed. It's a new day. It's a new day. You got to come to the times. Those hungry dog reps at the end of practice aren't as beneficial as Kevin Stefanski has tried to sell it. Talk to him, Zedric. Talk to him. Kevin Stefanski knows they're not beneficial because he knows the time is going to be off. He knows it. That is to say, I'm giving them some reps. We're getting these guys opportunities in other places that don't translate into timing on the field. It's crazy. What's going on, big dog? We playing 12. Let him run first team reps this week. Facts. Got to. The O-linemen were like, whose voice is that? Facts. Deion said he don't care about Cleveland Browns at all. Translated, that is, they are not doing Shedeur no favors. Facts. They're splitting it 3 ways when Shedeur was QB3. Now, Zappe probably run a scout team. Dillon running with the ones. I agree with that assessment. That's what it seems like. Dang, Streamlabs just coming for you, big dog. My bad. Excuse my language. They said they set 12 up to fail. What did you expect? That's a fact. Q Dog, can't wait to get your opinion when you get the first take. Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up. Let me let's throw the thumbnail up. Let me do some searching as I'm going through this. We're gonna search and see if they put out the clips. I'm already on ESPN, so we're gonna see. Sanders gets no burn. Sanders gets no burn, no reps, no scout team. Now that he's QB2, this is coaching malpractice, pure negligence. Ivy League Mac, talk to him. Stefanski gave all the reps to Dillon, and he's still bad. Maurice, that is a fact. Rex Ryan, that's a good point. Why trade up from him if you're not going to give him a chance? The season's over. There you go. People saw this early. Has Kevin done his Zoom media conference today? I think he usually does it about 12:30, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's 12:30. All right, let's see what clips they put out so far on First Take. That's why I say fire Stefanski now. Facts. Q Dog, I'm to a Q Dog. Our anniversary is today, November 17th, 1911. Man, November 17th. Man, this is a special day for me. This is my father and my daughter's birthday. They share a birthday. So this is my father and my daughter's birthday. So November 17th, a big day. That's a winnable game. Had they prepared 12, they would have won. I agree with that. Give him first team reps. Let him get some play with them guys. Dillon won't play next week. Ain't no way. Yeah, no way. No way he's playing. The cat was let out the bag when Sanders talked about never taking reps on national TV. Probably why they didn't want him speaking anymore. Q Dog, that's a fact. They didn't want it out there. They wrapped up that thing quick. Shedeur, he put some good messages out there in what he was saying yesterday. Very good messages. Have you noticed that when we see a workout video, Shedeur Sanders is not at a high school throwing to high school students? It's rarely we seeing him. We're not seeing him out there with the Browns players. Mary Kay asked, did Shedeur have any first team reps? Kevin replied, no. Tessa, yep, I saw that. We watched it live yesterday. He said it straight up. Nope. Kevin didn't even want to speak on him post game. Can't even say his name. Still, 12 could come out next week and put up 30, and he still won't say his name. Yeah, he said his name one time yesterday, but it was definitely he was very reluctant to say Shedeur's name. Did they think Dillon just wouldn't get hurt? How do you not give a backup quarterback first team reps? Did they think that Ninja Turtle hand is unbreakable? Hey, they thought that thing was indestructible. A.M. Williams, I love your show. Brown's true intentions towards Shedeur coming to the light, to the media. We saw it from the beginning. That is a fact, and I appreciate the love, A.M. Williams. I appreciate y'all with the birthday shout outs to the fam. Yeah, it's funny. My dad and my daughter have the same birthday, and me and my nephew have the same birthday. And then my older brother and one of my other nephews' birthday is like 2 or 3 days apart. So it's crazy how it's just all the birthdays just kind of, packed in together. So shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. It's obvious the problem is Stefanski. He's no good for Shedeur or Dillon. That's a fact. Happy birthday to your father and daughter. Happy birthday to the fam. I appreciate y'all. Also, Kevin is a big reason the downfall of Deshaun Watson, like Jameis and Joe Flacco. Big reason. He is not creative. His game is not creative at all. It's not creative. Soon as Kevin said Shedeur's name, he started glitching. Latika, you seen it. Not Ninja Turtle hand, bro. I'm screaming. Tessa, you know what's funny? Big Dog been calling him the Ninja Turtle hand since like week 2. He called it early. You got to know your guys, what they're good at, where they want the ball, and where they're capable of doing. And Shedeur does not know any of that because he didn't get first team reps. Big Dog, that is a fact. The Cleveland media has been asking about first team reps since training camp. They have. Why doesn't Andrew Berry speak about anything? GMs usually don't speak that much. They usually speak in the offseason more, but he was doing something where he was speaking on the bye weeks, and he skipped it this year. Happy birthday to your family. I appreciate that, Nita. Thank you. I appreciate that. Where's the GM and the owner? Why do they allow this kind of treatment to their future cash flow? $6 seats in the NFL. Crazy work. Maurice, that is a fact. There's no way they should let it get this bad. No way they should let it get this bad. Man, the bot, it's no link in there. What is he talking about? Okay. STN, he always says Shedeur up to fail so he can justify putting Dillon out there. Shedeur has to win the next game. I agree. The first time this season I ever saw Stefanski animated was when Shedeur was in the game, and his animation seemed desperate. Yep. Yep. Let me see if First Take got their clip out speaking on Shedeur yet. Yeah, I'm still not seeing it. I think this one is not on Shedeur. Let me see.
Welcome back to First Take, everyone. In the
Yeah, I gotta wait. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. Let me see if I can find anybody else putting it out. There was rumors that Kevin was coaching up DTR and Jameis Winston and letting Deshaun Watson do whatever because Deshaun Watson didn't run Kevin offense. Yeah, it was a lot of people saying that last year. They were saying he didn't hold Deshaun accountable, but Deshaun was probably looking at it like, you got me running this whack offense. Let me see if I can find First Take. I got to get up. Let's see. Okay. It's NFL on ESPN. That's still Get Up. Do we have it? All right, we got it. It ain't the official, but we got it. We got it. Let's see. Some people even call it Kevin didn't even go over to Shedeur in the 2-minute drive during the timeout. He's weird. Yeah, it's weird. The owner is not allowing. He is supporting. Yeah. The bot is glitching. Yeah, Maya, the bot is tripping today. He's active. Rodgers may have a slight break in his left wrist. Yep. This is why you can't throw away seasons. This is why you cannot throw away seasons. There are opportunities there. And when you throw away seasons, you miss opportunity to win a division. But I got First Take. Y'all want to see my response to First Take? I got First Take here. Let me pull it up. I got it here. Brother, GM watches every practice, all the scouts, even give grades after those practices. AB is to blame. Also, don't understand why players never spoke up either. I think they're going to speak up. I told y'all, if y'all wasn't here early, I believe Shedeur is going to start this week against the Raiders. They're going to win the game. I think Kevin Stefanski is going to try to go back to Dillon Gabriel after that. I think when he does that, they are going to flip on Kevin Stefanski. That's what I see happening. It's going to be a big problem. Big problem. Let's Gotcha. You can't hide anymore. It's out there. It's out there. Everybody is calling it out. Nobody is defending Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski has backed himself into a corner, and he has decided to cover his ears and go, la, 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 I'm doing it my way. That's what he's doing right now. He's doubling, tripling down on it. Jimmy Haslam knows nothing about football. He needs some football guys around him. Yeah, he has to. He has to. Do you think the owner and GM watch the post-game interviews? I think they do. Stephen A. didn't waste any time. Facts. He just said it. You calling it, you're right. That's exactly what's going to happen. Yeah, I don't like that. That's how I see it, but that's exactly what I see Kevin Stefanski doing. That's exactly what I see. Part of me thinks the DG was pulled and he's not in protocol. Yeah, it's very curious. It's very curious with how he was taken out of the game. Big dog.
You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job.
First time he's called him out too. That's big. If he's saying it, everyone will. Yep. Once you get to the point where First Take is calling you out openly like this, the floodgates have opened. Because someone let Stephen A. know Shedeur found people. They just didn't hang on to the ball. Granted, he had one interception. Yeah. You want to see progress. Shedeur progressively got better as the game went on, as he was able to settle in. I think it's going to be a great film breakdown this Wednesday because this is the first time we really get to see Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders versus the same team. We're going to get to see one with a lot of experience and a lot of reps. We're going to see the other one with no experience, and we're going to compare them versus the same team. Unfortunately, we get to see this in the regular season. This is something we should have got to see in the preseason, but let's see what else they have to say on First Take.
Let me talk about some of the reps that I've seen just constantly get talked about really since.
So we heard Dan Orlovsky, we heard him speak on Get Up. Let's see which side he takes when he's on First Take. Let's see if he maintains his stance or if he flip-flops again. We gonna see. Oh my goodness. He tap dancing already. He is immediately tap dancing. Y'all hear it. Man, oh man. Somebody go get the disco ball. Somebody get the disco ball. Somebody go get it. Somebody get the disco ball. Because my man is all over the place. Y'all see it. Y'all got them dancing emojis out. Y'all see it. Y'all see it. Y'all see it. You what? Tap dancing, y'all. Tap dancing. He is officially tap dancing. He is not sticking true to what he said earlier. Let's hear him. You don't think the rep thing, if he's one snap away as a rookie, he's never been able to see the speed of the game. How can you say you don't think it's anything? Dan. Look, man. Stephen A set you up with the layup. Stephen A just went right at Kevin Stefanski, and he went at Kevin Stefanski, and he went at Tommy Rees. He set you up to just be honest and say what you saw. Instead, you are dancing all over the place and trying to act like this is not what you saw. You don't have to go that route. You don't have to go that route. So you're telling me teams don't give their backup quarterback reps with the first team because they just think their quarterback won't get hurt? Big dog, talk to me, man. Talk to me, big dog. Dan a lie and the truth ain't in him. Tessa, that's a fact. Dan was 10 toes down for DG because he said DG's first preseason game was sensational, but he's been quiet as a mouse with DG's recent performance. Talk to him. Talk to him. Mr. Bojangles. Dancing all over the place, Keith. Also, I can't stand Dan O. You can tell he is a puppet. This is all he has because he is like DG, not an NFL QB. Just has the complexion they love. Talk to him. That's why I never watch or listen to Dan O. Yeah, Marie. Tap dancing. Dan O ran out of the back of the end zone clueless. That is a fact. That's a fact. He didn't know what he was doing in game, so we can't really act like you really know what you're doing outside of the game. So I need you got to relax, my friend. You got to relax. Let's see what Cam Newton has to say. Y'all know I was disagreeing with Cam last week. I was saying he's not watching the tape. He's not watching the games. I haven't seen this. Let's see if Cam Newton actually watched Shedeur play, and let's see what he says.
Job. You about to lose your job.
So I was ready to disagree with Cam Newton at the beginning of that. At the beginning, he was saying, oh, maybe he shouldn't go out there. Eventually, you just got to call it. You just got to call it what it is. You got to call it what it is. He got to it. This is a fireable offense. He's not developing people. These are things that we've been saying since the beginning. Maya, I agree. He still got the potential to switch up on his podcast. And Cam usually don't get frustrated, but everybody see it. Nobody can hide it. Such a flip-flopper. I'm starting to not like when he's right. Zedric. Hey, that's why it's hard to just always disagree or always agree with a person. You got to go case by case. And in this case, he's making sense. He's making sense. Hey, he was number 1 overall pick. Number 1 overall pick. They still prepared for Derek Anderson to play, who had experience in the league and had been a starter in the league. It's no excuses to not prepare the backup. It's no excuses. If we got to spend this entire season to make sure Dillon feel good when he wake up in the morning, then maybe he's not the guy that we should hitch our wagon to. I told y'all before, I said it seems like everything they're doing is to build up Dillon Gabriel's confidence, is to make sure Dillon Gabriel feels good about what he's doing, even when he's performing bad. You can't throw away a whole season to make Dillon Gabriel feel good when he doesn't have the talent and is not able to execute. Worst case scenario for Kevin Stefanski keeping his job is for mainstream shows, First Take being the number 1 sports show, for them to go at Kevin Stefanski this way. That's a life lesson. Prepare for the unexpected. Totally agree. Asante, he definitely felt the hit, and he wanted the subscribers back. All the haters are comparing Purdy and Sanders' situation. You can't. Purdy got some reps. Shedeur got none. You can't compare oranges to apples. The other thing with Purdy is people are being disingenuous. If you go look at Purdy's first game, he wasn't good. So what people want to do is they want to jump out there and say, well, Purdy did it. They are lying. I'm not going to mince the words. Purdy did not do it in his first game. When he first got in the game, I don't even think he threw the ball 10 times. He had an interception. He got sacked a couple times. He threw for 40-something yards. They are lying when they bring up Brock Purdy. They are lying. That's what it is. That's all it is. Watch when Shedeur is starting. We will hear Dillon is getting some first-team reps. Talk to him, Zedric. Okay, Cam, I'm proceeding with caution. That was a good take. Facts. Facts. That's why I always tell y'all know I go into every situation like, man, it's a possibility I could disagree with this person. Maya, the Griffin spirit takes over. Look at Rizzo. So I won't be shocked if Cam changes. Yeah, I was very surprised with Tony Rizzo. I've never heard Tony Rizzo speak on Dillon Gabriel's fundamentals and footwork. And now in his first game, you're talking about Shedeur's footwork. So Rizzo showing his true colors. Showing them. Let's see what else they got to say. Mic drop. I can't answer that. Cam Newton knows the answer. It was a rhetorical question. Y'all didn't catch it. Yes, he was getting first team reps as the backup to Joe Flacco. That's the answer to the question. I got you. This is surprising. I'm agreeing with Cam Newton. I'm agreeing with him. Also, you see how Stephen A didn't allow Dan Orlovsky to come back and swing back and make sure he could defend Kevin Stefanski? Stephen A was not going for it. He was not going for it. Because now the same thing that they held up and said, this is the reason why Kevin Stefanski wouldn't do it. Now they're saying, we got to question him because this don't make sense. A long time ago, I said, people in the media are going to start sounding like me. Have y'all heard me question Kevin Stefanski before? Have y'all heard me say he wasn't good at developing people? Were y'all here when I showed y'all that he didn't get DTR prepared to play the Baltimore Ravens in his first start? Do y'all recall that? It's no more defense for Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski needs to.
You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job.
He got to lose his job. He got to lose his job. That's what got to happen. He's not good. Wasn't Dan Orlovsky the third quarterback? I can't remember if he was third, but if he was third, it's really no comparison. Have they been holding information they know more about to get these clicks off? It's out there, man. It's out there. Shedeur Sanders is the biggest story in the NFL. It's no way that people are missing this information. Do you think Shedeur's footwork was bad in that game? I don't even know how he's calling out Shedeur's footwork because I rewatched the game last night. They only showed about 3 plays. They only showed 3 plays from the back angle, the end zone angle where you can see his footwork. And one of them was when he was getting, one of them was on that twist play where the guy was coming up at him before he can get to his 3-step drop. So we're going to watch it. I don't know how they're coming to that conclusion by saying his footwork wasn't good because I just don't think they don't have access to the All-22 yet. The All-22 not out yet. So I don't, from what I saw, I don't think it made a big difference in what was happening. We saw Dillon Gabriel have people open right away, do a 3-step drop, not get to his 3rd step and start bunny hopping. Do I recall seeing Shedeur do that? I don't. We're going to watch it though. I'm just going to let y'all know this Wednesday, y'all got to be ready for a long stream. It's going to be a long stream on Wednesday because we're going to have Dillon Gabriel's 3rd down plays from the first half. And instead of doing Shedeur's 3rd downs, we're going to do every Shedeur snap. So the film room portion, we probably going to spend an hour on the film room. I'm not going to spend a long time going into the local Cleveland media like I normally would, because we're going to break down the film and we're going to have all the answers based on what the film says. We're going to have all the answers. So it's going to be out there. Him and Gross were playing good cop, bad cop. He was just a good cop for the Ravens, it seems. Nasty business. Yeah. So if y'all notice, I'm not the one that gets up here and just talks bad about content creators. One thing y'all will notice is certain people I just never react to. And it's a reason why I don't react to them. Because when I get the sense that you are not speaking to what you believe and see, then I just won't, I won't go to what you're doing because I know you're playing the game. I won't play the game. Man, the bot is tripping today. The bot got to relax. You got to relax, bot. What are you doing? Fire Kevin, please. Facts. C. Brown run. He got to go. Tool man, film don't lie. Let's get ready. We're ready to see it. Yeah, it's gonna be a long film breakdown on Wednesday. So we're gonna really get to it. We're gonna get to all of it. But it's certain people I just don't show that often because they're playing a game, and then eventually the game unfolds in front of you, and then people start questioning them. To me, it always seemed performative when Rizzo was speaking about Shedeur. It always seemed performative. So if you notice, the last time I showed Rizzo was when Rizzo was saying Dillon Gabriel was going to be the starter. That was the last time. That was the last time I showed Rizzo because it's too performative for me. It doesn't seem like he's just going based on what he sees. So I'm always cautious of that. Zedric, I'm with you. I'm glad they're showing their hand too. I want them to keep talking. I want everybody to talk and say what they truly feel, so we know if we just gotta cut you off and not listen to what you say, not waste the time. Stefanski is definitely trying to prop up a lesser player by deliberately sabotaging the more talented guy. I thought we wanted the best players to play. This is a different NFL today. During the time of the draft, I said the best players don't always play in the NFL. People said I was a clown. People said everything else. I said sometimes teams are not trying to win. People said I didn't know what I was talking about. When you watch Shedeur Sanders throw 16 pass attempts and you watch Dillon Gabriel play 6.5 games, does it look like they are close to the same thing? Are they playing the same sport? They're not. Darren Orlovsky was the third quarterback after Drew Stanton got there, so it's a different situation. It's facts. Now, if he was a third string quarterback, then you could say, man, he's not getting no reps. But listen, y'all want to know how egregious it is that Shedeur not getting reps? Shedeur Sanders was the only other quarterback who was available to play yesterday. Bailey Zappi is not on the active roster. So the only other quarterback who could play if an injury happened was Shedeur. So it is malpractice that he didn't get any reps. Seems to me the detractors are celebrating a little too early. Unfortunately, there are people out there who are really big mad Shedeur has supporters, and we didn't falter. Facts. I told you. Their ultimate goal is to get people to not support Shedeur, and they're crumbling and crying in the corner when it won't work. See how fast Dillon was so-called hurt when the owner's stadium was empty and getting booed loudly. National media talking bad about your team will speak volumes to Haslam. Watch the dominoes fall. Let me tell you. You own to something. I told people Rizzo was fake after the speeding tickets. He canceled Shedeur live. Miss TN is out there. The Eagles are in the same situation. Tanner McKee looks like a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has some limitations. Before the season, I said Jalen Hurts wasn't a top 5 quarterback. People came at me for saying that. If you look at it now, their offense is clunky. The Eagles' offense is clunky. They have all the weapons. They got 3 levels of ways they can attack you. They got tight ends. They got Saquon Barkley. They got 2 really good receivers. They have one of the best offensive line. And their offense still looks clunky. So that's on the quarterback. What we are learning more and more is that Kevin Stefanski has always planned to treat Shedeur like he wasn't really drafted by this team. Talk to him. It seems more obvious now. People saw it right away, and they were called conspiracy theories. Did you hear Stephen A. mention conspiracy theories today? Did you hear Dan Orlowski mention conspiracy theories today? No, you didn't. You heard them admit that Kevin Stefanski is failing. That's what you heard today. So everybody's jumping off the wagon. Everybody is recognizing he's not doing what he's supposed to do. Tanner McKee, every game he has played, has 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He attacks the middle of the field. There's this tag on Jalen Hurts that he's a one-read quarterback. And do you think Tommy Rees wants Shedeur Sanders in? I think he does. I think Tommy Rees, to me, from the outside looking in, seems like he has the best relationship with Shedeur. I think yesterday just was a bad situation. And I think Tommy Rees being only his second game as a play caller in NFL, it showed yesterday. He couldn't get to things fast enough. Tommy Rees' play calls look a lot better on that late drive when they had to have it moments, but throughout the game he was kind of sleepwalking a little bit on 2 or 3 drives for Shedeur. It's sad because that's been the messaging the day he stepped foot in Cleveland. Hard to counter months of propaganda. That's a fact. Always remember this. You are a conspiracy theorist until you're proven right. When you are proven right, they will just join your side. They will not give you props for being right. That's what they do. This has been another good stream. 2 hours in the books. I appreciate y'all for being here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you tap in on Wednesday. If you are not able to watch any of my live streams throughout the week, make sure you watch on Wednesday when we do the film breakdown. Make sure you watch that. What do you think Shedeur needs to work on? I think Shedeur needs to work on bailing out of the back of the pocket. And I think his clock needs to get a little bit faster when he drops back. They had no answer for blitz, which was used multiple times by the Ravens. That's a fact. I was calling it out live. Live, I was saying he's supposed to have an outlet when they blitz. They're running 15-yard routes when they're sending a blitz. He needs an outlet. He needs a back that's going to chip and he can dump it off to him. He needs a tight end. He can chip and dump it off to him. When they send blitz, you need an answer to the question. They don't really give him answers. 144 from 1K. Hey, let's get it. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. In my opinion, it didn't make sense that we got Tommy Rees and didn't draft Jalen Milroe. Facts, somebody he worked with. Also, Gary Kubiak, the offensive play caller. No, Clint Kubiak, the offensive play caller in Seattle. The Browns interviewed him first. He wanted to come here. They would not give him play calling duties. Look at Seattle's offense compared to the Browns. They don't have all these big stars on offense. They got one of the best offenses in the league. I would give Shedeur more a poor Parcells, Bills, no-huddle offense, like Manning take his time at the line. That would be an interesting while to go because then you run that no-huddle offense and you just keep lining up and you make the defense show their hand early. That's another way you could attack it. That's why the 2-minute offense worked so well for him because the defense couldn't disguise it. They had to be ready for the play to go. So I like the way you're thinking to it, man. I like that. Make sure y'all tap in on Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. It's going to be a long film session on Wednesday. We really going to get to the film. We really going to have some answers. So you definitely want to tap in Wednesdays, 10:30 Eastern. Tap in for the film session. We are breaking down Dillon Gabriel's thirds down. We're breaking down every rep from Shedeur. We're going to look at his footwork. We're going to look at if he had opportunities, if he didn't. We're going to break it all down on Wednesday. So make sure y'all here. Shout out to everybody for being here. Let me shout out the people who send super chats because I definitely appreciate y'all. Shout out to C.A. Anderson. Shout out to Charmaine. Shout out to Tessa. I appreciate y'all. Thank you to everybody for tapping in. Thank you for sticking with me on this journey as we work our way up to get to 1K. Sam Darnold had a bad game yesterday, but he's looked good overall. I would agree with you right there, Jeffrey. We going to get this thing. We're going to be back live on Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of y'all day. Don't fall for the media tricks and the stuff that they're going to try to do. And we're going to stay strong. We riding with 12. Peace.